Hello, welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. I am Noel T. Manning the second, hanging out with Mr. Adam Long, a longtime friend and a fellow film journalist, entertainment journalist, film critic, pop culture expert. You name it. Adam is it. Adam is it. So we are glad to have Adam on the show. We try to get him on once a month if we can to talk about home delivery. And I tell you, man, December was such a crazy month that we said, okay, we're going to have to we can't get the November releases then, so we're going to have to maybe double up. And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to look at November and December, some of those home delivery releases that people can check out. And I do want to mention, if you happen to hear something in the background that sounds like an alien like hacking up a lung, that's actually my bride, and she is dealing with bronchitis, and so I am trying to take care of her while we're doing this. So if you see me take off really quickly, that means she needs something, and I will always be there if she needs something. You can count on that. So Beth, hope you recover soon, and thanks to everybody who's spending time with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies.
Yes, TB or not TB, that is the congestion.
Fortunately, it's just bronchitis, so we do know that. We do know that. Well,
I
well,
couldn't help
Adam, I'm going to
myself.
let you.
Terrible.
That's all right, man. That's all right, buddy. I'm going to let you jump in, man. What's first on your list for home delivery that our audience can check out now at home, and
Yeah,
maybe
well,
a different format.
yeah, let's just go back chronologically and do this. We'll go back to November and we will talk a little bit about some of those releases therein. And you can chime in because some of these titles you have seen and you have an opinion, I'm sure. And we'll go back to the beginning of November with this one. We have the 4K, first 4K ever release of Richard Donner's Scrooged. I have sweet memories of seeing this in a theater opening weekend, and just really responded to it strongly. Then co-written by Michael O'Donoghue, who was a former writer for Saturday Night Live before his unceremonious firing, I believe. And then he went on to do a sketch film, Mr. Mike's Mondo Video, and many other things he did over the years. And he died way too young of I think it was uh, an aneurysm, I believe it was, that killed him. But anyway, his very dark sense of humor is evidenced in this film because he had a very dark sense of humor, so it's in there. But you don't get a lot in the way of new features in terms of extras. You get the commentary by Richard Donner, you get the and several featurettes, and the Show West clips with Bill Murray when they were promoting the film before it actually came out for theater owners. But the transfer is really nice. It's a really spectacular upgrade. I wouldn't say it's like a day and night upgrade, but it looks nice. There's a lot of nice texture. The sound is good. 5.1 audio here. So Scrooge from Paramount is
Oh yeah, I remember watching that opening weekend when it hit theaters and was just in love with it. And you're right. There's this darkness to it, but it works so well as a dark comedy. But it works so well within the story of Scrooge itself, and the Dickens Scrooge, and the concept of it that they played on with this just made it work even more so. I love that we got to see Bill Murray's real life brothers showing up in the
yeah.
cast, and a lot of great cameos throughout. It's a go to for me every single holiday season. So glad to see it's out. And so if you decide to get rid of that particular 4K, you got a guy right here that wants it because I don't have it. So you got a guy right here that wants it. Awesome. All right, man. So what else is on the home delivery list for November releases?
Well, let's do some Southern fried action, my friend. And you probably know who I'm talking about here. Talking about Burt Reynolds. We got a 1-2 punch here of
All
White
right, double
Lightning.
feature, man.
Yeah, and Gator, sold separately. Gator is the sequel to White Lightning, and these are you've got Jerry Reed here and Burt Reynolds pairing up as he's Moonshine Runner waging war against corrupt police officials in the first one there. It gets a new audio commentary by film historian Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson, and the first of a two-part interview with Burt Reynolds that is continued on the second disc. And then in the second one, he goes undercover to expose Well, Jerry Reed, yeah, is in the second one. Jerry Reed's not in the first one. It's been a long time since I've seen these, but yeah, Jerry Reed. But he goes undercover to expose Jerry Reed in the second one. So Jerry Reed is only in the first film. You've got Ned Beatty and Jennifer Billingsley and Bo Hopkins in the first one. Ned Beatty, of course, had just previously been appeared with Burt Reynolds the year before White Lightning's release in Deliverance in '72. So they reteamed again in this one, but. Again, another commentary by Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson, and so these are released separately from Keynote, Lorber Studio Classics, but just always they do such good work over there, and just wanted to make mention of those for fans of Southern fried action and us being Southern boys. I mean, why wouldn't we be? So
well, and I think also the fans of Burt Reynolds, especially during that time period, he was just. He was the man. I mean, he was the go-to movie star during that time, especially for these kinds of films. And so I remember these quite well also.
Oh, yes, very fondly. So we'll go to the Oscar-winning The Fugitive. Yes,
this is North Carolina.
Yes, that's correct. A 30th anniversary, hard to believe, released in August of 1993. And you got this is a Warner Brothers release, Warner Brothers proper, not Warner Archive. And you've got the legacy features that have been on previous special editions. But what the big deal here is that you've got a new 8K resolution transfer that has been. It's a 4K disc, but it's mastered from an 8K remastering that they've done. So it's pretty spectacular in terms of quality. This is a film that had nobody had any expectations that it would actually succeed, because there was so much tumult on the set when they were making this film, and they were rewriting it constantly as they went along. And it's amazing that this film came together and is solid as it is. But they made it work and work well. It does an adaptation of the old 60s television series, and probably when you're talking about TV series that have been adapted into films, this is probably going to be at the top of the list, I would say.
I'm with you, man. I love the series. My dad, it was one of his favorite TV series, and I remember he and I would watch those reruns together. And then, flash forward several years, and the Incredible Hulk, when that came out, I remember my dad telling me, the Incredible Hulk really is the fugitive formula. Whole concept of it is that fugitive formula. And that gave me a chance to go back and kind of revisit that with that in mind. And I was like, Dad, you're right. You're exactly right. And so when the movie came out with Harrison Ford, I was definitely looking forward to it. And I remember my dad was looking forward to it as well. And we were both quite pleased with what we saw. And they even had a spin-off film, U.S. Marshals, with Tommy Lee and Robert Downey Jr. and a few others. It was like you said, a surprise hit, and it was one well worth checking out. And it was one of those also films that for those that like to go to locations and scout locations after the fact, who were movie buffs, a lot of people came to North Carolina after that film to check out some of the sites of this particular shoot.
Yes. I remember seeing it the week it opened, and like I said, just completely blown away. Not much better than I had anticipated it would be. So, yes, great film. So we'll move along to. Well, this is one that everybody is obviously making a lot of top 10 lists for the year, and it's Oppenheimer. Of course, we've both seen that, as have many others this year, and making its 4K debut. And there's also a Blu-ray edition as well. I think there may be a Steelbook edition, I don't know, but there's a few special features, mostly just featurettes here on this. The big news about Oppenheimer is that it's sold completely out on 4K. They're already in the second pressing of it. And for people who are crying about physical media being on the downward slope, and they're claiming its early demise, I would say the selling out of Oppenheimer is proof positive that there's still a demand for the best possible presentation of these films. And we all know that when you're talking streaming, 15 megabytes per second is standard, because the pipeline is limited as to what you can see. And these This Oppenheimer is peaking out at around 80 megabytes per second or something of that nature when you're watching it on the 4K disc. So it's pretty impressive. And if you're a fan of the film, you'll certainly want to get that once they're back in stores or available on Amazon or wherever it is you get your disc. That's a universal release, by the way. Speaking of Oscar-winning films, here's another one, Terms of Endearment. This is the film that I always say it's the movie that makes grown men cry. And
or
is,
makes their eyeballs sweat.
Yes, it certainly has done that for me.
Sweating eyeballs.
Yes, multiple times for me. This is a beautiful film. The film debut as a director for James L. Brooks, who, of course, responsible for the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Taxi, and then later on co-creator of The Simpsons. What a career he's had. And this was his feature debut as a filmmaker. And Jack Nicholson won the Oscar here in a supporting role. It's basically about the relationship between a mother and daughter over the years. And wow, just packs a wallop. Yeah. Just packs a wallop. I'm getting misty-eyed just thinking about how wonderful this film is.
Yeah, just a beautiful film. And for this to be someone, for their directorial debut, it makes it even more fascinating when you look at that. And that's one of the awards that the North Carolina Film Critics give out every year as a first-time director. And I love that because we're acknowledging those who we may be seeing down the road, just like Brooks there as well. Terms of Endearment, just a solid film. Glad to see that out and about for home delivery.
Yeah, 4K upgrade from Paramount, never before issued on 4K. And this is part of their Paramount Presents line of titles. And you get some new bonus materials. Filmmaker Focus with James L. Brooks, a commentary by the director, which is an archival commentary, I think. And you get the co-producer and production designer talking on the commentary as well. So there you go. Terms of Endearment, wonderful film. So
awesome. Yeah. And we've got time for one more before the break, Adam, and then we'll come back and dive into more home delivery. So what else you got you want to make sure you get covered in this half of the show?
Sure. We're going to tie into the previous title. Terms of Endearment is based on a novel by Larry McMurtry, who also co-wrote the script for Brokeback Mountain several years ago, won the Oscar for that. He one of his early successes in terms of adapting his works was The Last Picture Show, which was a nominee for Best Picture. It also won 2 acting awards, I think, supporting actor and actress. Another wonderful film about teenagers in 1950s Texas, coming of age. Jeff Bridges, this was the film that really put him on the map. You've got Sybil Shepherd, also put her on the map. Randy Quaid is in this. Timothy Bottoms, Cloris Leachman winning the Oscar in her role, and Ben Johnson as well. Terrific film. And also want to mention that there was a sequel 20 years later, Texasville. It has previously been issued in DVD on the theatrical version only. Peter Bogdanovich, the director of both films, preferred a director's cut of Texasville. It's included as a bonus Blu-ray and has also been presented in a it's in the set as a bonus Blu-ray, and it's been presented in its preferred black and white version. It was made in 1990, which they weren't making black and white films there in that time frame very much. And I saw the black and white director's cut of Texasville, the sequel, and it really enhance the viewing experience for it. And this also includes the director's cut and the theatrical version of Last Picture Show in 4K. So you really get a lot of bang for your buck with this Criterion release of the Last Picture Show. And there's documentaries as well. Wonderful. One of my favorite releases of the month of November.
Yeah, solid film. I'm glad to hear that you've got all the extras, including a double feature sequel that's part of that as well. Just an incredible film. You mentioned all the highlights of it, the acting, the cinematography. Oh my gosh, just a beautiful film to watch and an amazing story as well. Last Picture Show in Texasville out for home delivery. You are watching Meet Me at the Movies, our home delivery segment with Adam Long. We're going to take a quick intermission. We're going to come back and dive into more home delivery releases that were released November and December right here on Meet Me at the Movies, so stick around.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a...
These days, having a secure job really matters. Take plumbing, for instance. No matter what's going on with the economy, There will always be a need for professional plumbers to fix problems, help finish a new home or renovation, and make sure the plumbing works just right. Plus, professional plumbers can make a very good living. CCC offers what you need to get going with your career as a plumber. We have a certificate program to give you top-notch residential plumbing skills and knowledge of code requirements. Our program can give you the technical know-how and skills to handle residential and some big commercial projects. You learn how to lay, install, and maintain piping fixtures and systems for gas, hot water, drainage, sprinkling, and plumbing processing systems in any environment. Job security, good pay, professional status. Now the question is, are you ready to start your journey today?
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a
Welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T manning the second here. Hanging out with Sir Adam Long. I don't think that he's been knighted by the King of England, but he has been knighted by the King of Dum right here in North Carolina. So the King of Dum says you are a knight. So welcome, Sir Adam Long, as we talk home delivery right here on Meet Me at the Movies. And we've got one that's probably a perfect tie-in to chaos, mayhem, mass destruction in the most parody of ways.
Yes, this one comes to us from Shout and Scream Factory, part of the Shout Select line of titles. There you go, folks. Police Academy, the Police Academy collection, which includes all 7 of the Police Academy films. And you also get additional scenes, additional featurettes. You get a commentary on the original film with Steve Guttenberg, Michael Winslow, Leslie Easterbrook, the director and the producer. There's a new commentary on Police Academy 4, and there's new featurettes here, new 2K scans of all the inner positives. So, if you grew up in the 80s like you and I did, what can you say about Police Academy films? They came out every spring for so many years. There would be a brand new one around March or April, and it was just every year with when spring came along, we knew there'd be a new Police Academy. And so this set collects them all, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, those movies were just pure fun. I mean, that's really probably the best way to describe them. Were they artistic masterpieces? No, they were never intended to be. They were intended to entertain, and that's exactly what they did, especially for the audiences that went after this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm with you. Police Academy, absolutely one that I remember. I don't know that I remember the stories of every single one of them, but I did go to see every single one of them in some form or fashion.
Yeah, there's a lot of gags. Some of them work, some of them don't. But
kind of like this show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kind of like this show. Some things work, some things don't.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah, there you go. But we move along. Well, we're moving along to December. We've got I've got 2 TV releases. One of these was actually released in November. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one up. We didn't talk about this. The Leave It to Beaver Universal has issued the complete series. And this is it's all 6 seasons on 234 episodes. I think there's 30 discs here or something of that nature. This is 100 hours and 2 minutes of Leave It to Beaver. Pure 50s nostalgia.
Yeah, a lot of binge-worthy stuff right there, man.
Oh, yeah. And it also includes the unaired pilot called It's a Small World. So,
wow. Okay.
These have been
bonus right there, man.
Right, yeah. You get bonus stuff there too, but yeah, just beautiful remastering of these episodes. Have really and it's a part of our American culture. What can you say about Leave It to Beaver? So we'll move into the month of December with this set of an iconic 1970s television series. And check this out. This is amazing. This is a 5-disc. From Kino Lorber, terrific. With you get a new. All these are, by the way, these are remastered in 4K by NBC Universal, and you get the 1968 movie of the week, Prescription Murder. You get the 1971 pilot, Ransom for a Dead Man, which I believe is directed by Steven Spielberg. The shorter 71-minute cut of Etude in Black, an episode guide booklet. And a newly commissioned slipcase cover illustration, which you see there.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
this is just, this is wonderful. Just a real feast. And I'm told that in the springtime, they're going to be doing the 80s box. So that's a
Wow.
two volume set. So Kino Lorber, thank
Yeah,
you. Some wonderful goodness from the folks at Kino Lorber Studio Classics. And we are grateful for it.
yeah. I got to say, Adam, that during the 70s, the police procedural or detective procedural dramas of the week were so solid, and some of them were the private eye, some of them were the detectives. I mean, I think about the Columbos, the Kojaks, the Mannix, Cannon. There were so many of those that I just remember watching with my grandmother and my dad. Uh, I, I still go back to those. I still go back to
mhm.
those. So anytime I'll be flipping channels and I'll see them on like places like MeTV, I have to go back and watch them. So yeah, a big fan of that. And Columbo was one of those that he was such an iconic character and so quirky. I remember in high school there was I did a lot of drama in high school, and there was this one performance that I had to play a detective, and I actually modeled my stylistic impersonations after Peter Falk's Columbo, and everybody got it. Everybody got it, and they appreciated it. So yeah, Columbo has a place in my heart for sure, man.
Did you walk off stage and then come back and say, just one more thing?
No, but I did do the head
Yeah.
scratching thing. I did some of that little stuff, so I had some fun for sure, for
I
sure.
hate to bother you. But yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah, man.
the fables and fantasies of filmmaker Albert Lamouris. He's a French filmmaker. 5 of his films: The Red Balloon, Bim, The Little Donkey, White Mane, Stowaway in the Sky, and Circus Angel. Some of these are, I believe, had Oscar. They either were Academy Award winners or Oscar nominees. Yes, there were some. There were some
Yeah,
award-winning
Red Balloon for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
Red
Red
Balloon for
Balloon. Yes,
sure.
these are very emotional, well-made short films that they are fantasies, but he's making larger points by using fantasy as a way to do it. And these are just beautiful films collected in this 287-minute set. Films made between 1951 and 1965. It's a Criterion release, and it includes digital restorations of all of these and some interviews here, French TV interviews, narrations in English by Peter Strauss and Jack Lemmon on some of these films, and an English dub track on one of them. So there's some real good stuff here in this collection of the 5 films by Albert Lamouris, The Red Balloon and Other Fables, or Other Stories rather. And so just a couple more, real quickly. One of my favorite films of all time. This was another real gift in the month of December for me, and this is Oliver Stone's amazing JFK. There we go. You can see it. Part of the Shout
Yes.
Select line of titles. This is a 3-disc set.
Wow.
It includes not only the director's cut, but it includes the theatrical cut, which is a half hour shorter. It's the one I obviously saw first. It includes some new interviews, some new special features, and some archival stuff. 12 deleted extended scenes. The Oliver Stone. It's Oliver Stone's commentary, of course. This is a 4K scan of the original negative in Dolby Vision, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want the technical presentation is sure to please, and the stuff that he achieved with this film from a technical standpoint, regardless of your feelings about the film, is just the editing, the cinematography. I can't wait. I haven't gotten a chance to, but this week I was waiting for my son to get here so we could watch it together, and I can't wait to partake in this. Just what a gift! Part of the Shout Select line of titles from
Yeah.
Shout
And
Factory.
I will say this from a technical standpoint: anytime anyone asks me about editing in film, this is always a go-to for me because it was just perfection, absolute perfection from an editing standpoint, and still holds up so well.
Well-deserved Oscar winner for that. Yes, and we'll move very quickly. I know time's getting limited here, but we'll run through 3 more titles. We have Titanic. Speaking of Oscar winners, first time ever in 4K Ultra HD with a new director-approved scan of the film. Includes a new documentary, Titanic: Stories from the Heart, featuring new interviews with James Cameron, John Landau, Kate Winslet. There's 3 audio commentaries here. 3, count them, 3.
Wow.
Ported over from the previous edition. The unfortunate news is the 3D version was not included as part of this set, which I have separately. If you have 3D capabilities, which I do, I wanted to keep that. So, I didn't want to lose the ability to see it in 3D if I felt like it. But this new transfer is pretty amazing. Pretty, it's like I said, director approved. James Cameron's not going to let it out there unless it, has his stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So Titanic getting its 4K upgrade.
And we've got
just
2
more
1
real
minute
quick
to wrap things up.
We can do it. The Color Purple is coming out in a new musical version. Well, the original 1985 film directed by Steven Spielberg getting a 4K upgrade, beautiful transfer, no new extras, just previously issued extras. But the new picture and sound upgrade is probably worth it for fans of The Color Purple, a beautiful film that has some really incredibly moving moments. And another North Carolina film that we'll talk about, Silver Bullet, the first 4K Ultra HD release of that. That's another Screen Factory release. And I don't think there are any new extras here. There is a new audio commentary. I'm sorry. There is a new audio commentary, and the rest of it is previously issued bonus material. But this is a werewolf film based on a Stephen King short novella starring Gary Busey and the late Corey Haim. And so there you go. Filmed in Wilmington.
Yes, and Gary Busey and werewolves. I mean, what else do you need in any kind of film? Gary Busey and werewolves. Well, Adam Long joining us for home delivery, talking physical releases that you can check out. We'll really appreciate your insight, appreciate bringing all that to us, Adam. Those were all released in November and December, and you can check those out now wherever you choose to purchase your physical medium. So, Adam, what's the best place people can find your work? You want to send them to a social channel or a website? You give it, and we'll share that with them.
Well, you can go to Spotify and catch my weekly podcast, Adam's Corner. You've been a guest on there. And I usually have a guest each week. We talk just about things that I'm passionate about. Popular American music from the late 20th century to the early 20th century, books, movies, you name it, just stuff that I'm really passionate about. I try to connect with people who are equally passionate, who have worked in the field, and we usually chat about something each week. So Adam's Corner, Spotify, all those places where you go. That's the best place to find me. And Facebook, Twitter, you can look me up, Adam Long. You'll find me there. So there you go.
Awesome. Buddy, appreciate you joining us always, and appreciate our viewers and our listeners. However you choose to spend time with us, we do thank you always for that. For Meet Me at the Movies and for Adam Long, I'm Noel T. Manning II, and for this week, that is a wrap.
Many films to view until we meet again. Next time we see you, we'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.